R&B, like R&B, you can pretty much say whatever if it sounds good, if you can sing. Well, you ain't even really got to be able to sing. Like, just make it catchy. Baby, let me spit in your butt. Like, just so crazy. Like,
actually, to be fair, I think that's a song.
It might be. I honestly wouldn't be. I was listening to a song called "I Want to F Your Sister" earlier. That's an R&B song, and it's like that's trifling, but it sounds good.
There's I think is it Nicki Minaj has the truffle butter song.
Oh yeah,
and
I remember that.
Yeah, and you know what that is, right? If you guys don't know, I don't even want to tell people to look that up.
Okay, well I didn't do the intro yet. Peace and blessings, kings and queens. My name is Jaquan Davis,
and I am Nicholas Fletcher,
and welcome to another episode of. Wait a minute, I feel something in my eyes. Welcome to another episode of the Young Old Heads Podcast, the hip hop based podcast where we talk about a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing.
Is that why you asked me that question?
That's why I asked you eyes or cheese. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Right. Nicholas, my dear friend, how you doing? How was your week, bro?
I had a pretty decent week. Work went well, nice and smooth. Yeah. And then on Thursday, I had to go. I'm getting some tattoos removed. So I had a laser appointment, and I will just, we don't have to really dive into it, but I will say, make sure you think before you ink, because I
like that. That's kind of a bar, bro. Go ahead. Yeah, that's kind of a bar, yeah.
Yeah, but it is like terribly painful to get like lasers. So worse than a tattoo itself.
And it takes a couple sessions.
Yesterday or Thursday was my 11th session.
11th on the same tattoos?
Yeah, 11 sessions.
Oh, gosh.
I probably got another 11 to go.
At that point, man, you couldn't get it touched up to be something different.
So, I will say it's hurting, like, to a point, and it sucks, bro. But I'm having that kind of like, maybe they're not so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe I could live with these,
That's, oh, gosh, man. I always wondered why more people didn't just get them removed, but if it takes 11 sessions, then you're maybe halfway.
It's when you look online, it kind of gives you this hopeful perception, because obviously anybody who has a bad tattoo, it it really can mess with your psyche. It sucks. You got something permanently attached to you that you hate, so you look up online. And you look, for me personally, I look up can you remove any tattoo? And it was yes, tattoo removal in this era, with the technology and laser treatments, you can remove tattoos. And then they kind of neglect until you do more research to inform the painstaking process of it. Yeah. But it's yes, laser treatments will get it done. Here are the best ones. So I go to an actual dermatologist. I go to a plastic surgery doctor place.
Okay.
I go. I don't go to I go to when I went, they were just they looked at my tattoos and were it's gonna.
Yeah, those suck. Let's get going. Those suck.
No, they actually.
Well, they did.
Ooh, yeah.
No, I see why you're here. Come on.
Or you want to only that one? You should probably get rid of this one too. That sucks.
That's terrible.
Yeah, no, but yeah. So it's here's the thing that the most painstaking part about it. So the sessions themselves hurt really bad. It just I try to explain to somebody. Here's my most accurate description of it. It feels like you're being electrocuted with a rubber band that somebody lit on fire and is holding it 7 inches above your skin and just repeatedly snapping and quick snapping it hurts but so the thing is it doesn't take long to do a session. So the little one on the side of my neck I'm getting removed, literally not even a minute to go over and the appointment's done. Here's where it sucks for me. The big one I'm getting removed is the one on my throat. The big colorful rose. Yeah, another thing, location's key. But the one on my throat is it has pink in it, green, blue. There's some white highlights, yellow, black outline. So when they do the one on my throat, she has to go over it multiple times with different laser frequencies, because the way it works. Little known fact, I'm gonna tell you guys how laser removal works. The ink. I literally I'm not really going to dive into this as we dive into it, but it's intriguing.
It is. So, the throat thing, I'm just picturing that, and it's got me.
But so the way it works, you get a tattoo, And immediately when the ink enters your skin, your like immune system sees it as like a foreign body and is like, get out of here. But the pigmentation of the ink is too big for your immune system and like your white blood cells to like carry away and move.
We can't do anything.
Yeah, so it basically, so that's how the tattoo becomes permanent. That it's just like your body's just like, okay, like I can't get rid of this. Well, the way the laser works is the certain caliber of laser, whatever they calibrate their machine to, targets a certain color. So like black hurts the worst, most common, like tattoo, color.
Gosh.
And so the laser will hit black ink. It'll specifically target black pigmentation and then break it up into little particles. And then your white blood cells can come and grab it and take it out. And it sounds weird, but you sweat and pee your tattoo out. That's how you get rid of it.
You pee your tattoo? That could have been a random fact, man. You pee your tattoo out.
Damn it. See, I could have. But now we know. Yeah, but yeah.
But anyway,
so that was it. So I got
that.
So I got that. And so I'm recovering. Not a bad recovery. It feels like a really bad sunburn. Like, so not just regular sunburn. It just feels like you got scorched in the sun, but like a week afterwards, you're back on the mend.
Yeah, I can't relate to that because I'm melanated.
Lucky.
Okay, so let's talk about my week since this is the Nicholas show. No, I'm just fucking with you, bro. But no, my week was actually a little bit more on the stressful side. Things were slowing down at work, which is never good, and so that's got me a little nervous because last time things slowed down, I ended up getting laid off for 3 months. But so I was trying to keep a positive outlook and contemplating robbing a bank or two. We'll see.
It's kind of where it goes.
Maybe scamming people on GoFundMe or something. I don't know. I just figure at this point, work slowing down. I may as well turn to crime. Like what other options do I have?
Yeah. There's not really much left out there.
Not at all. So I'm gonna just do what I gotta do. Maybe steal a few donation jars or something.
Like the little leave a tip jar.
Yeah. Oh, so,
yeah. I could. That's how you make a living. Steal like $8
from some family whose house burned down.
Don't you understand? I need it,
bro. People really do that. It's so trifling. Like, that's terrible.
I won't go deep into this, but I actually know somebody right now who used to work for me. And this is going to sound bad, guys, because we're really transparent on this podcast. So if this is true, like, I'm very sorry. Whatever higher power, forgive me. But this person does not have a good track record with the truth. Okay. And when I say, like, I could tell some stories. Me and you personally.
Tell
we'll
me.
talk
I want to know.
Yeah. But this person is just a off the rails person, and on TikTok. And mind you, this person I'm talking about currently owes me like $1,800.
Gosh.
But on TikTok, this person got on there and is his whole thing is he does this whole spiel about how he has testicular cancer, and he always talks about it. And then we'll go and then he ends up with like, yeah, well, like, and it's really financially like burying me right now. So like whatever you can donate to my GoFundMe. And the thing is, on all the videos, like his most recent one, he blocked me because I was talking shit. But my wife showed me, and on his most recent one, he said the way he was talking about like whatever the cancer spread, and like it spread up into his chest cavity, and the doctor, and he said, yeah, and he's like, and whatever type of cancer it is, the doctor said. And I'm like, bro, wouldn't you know?
Well, yeah, they would definitely be specific.
Yeah, exactly. The doctor said it was just
whatever life-threatening illness I have, whatever.
And mind you, from the outside perspective, people are like, dude, you're like, what if this guy really has it? Yo, like the things this human being is lied about is insane. Like we talk about, like, usually when you lie about something, there's a purpose, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason you're going to lie and you achieve something. This person, I have multiple stories where they lie about something that had no gain.
Just
why?
Now, why even lie about that? This shirt is great.
Yeah, like they'd get a phone call and like be on the phone and they'd be like, hey, what are you doing? And they'd be like Walmart and they're like, oh, I'm just driving to Smith's right now. Got to go pick up some apple juice. And you'd be like, what? Like, yeah, literally. And you'd be like, what? Like, why?
Why? What do you have to gain from it?
Yeah, and that actual story, I'll just that relates to the real thing that happened. His girlfriend had told us, his ex-girlfriend had told us, she was in bed one time and he was playing PlayStation on the headset. Yeah. And some people, whoever he's playing with, had asked him what he was doing. Yeah. And he was like, oh, like I'm just in Canada right now for work. And he was
why?
And stuff. And she was telling us after they split up, being like, I had no idea why he'd lie about that. Like, why would he tell these random people that he was in Canada and like something weird and like
that's so bizarre.
Yeah, like it's just strange guy.
Yeah, you have to delve into that. So this guy was a storyteller, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of storytelling, why don't you tell us the story of your interaction with Roy Jones
Yes,
Jr.
this is a story that I've been wanting to tell, and it's also because I haven't really told you anything really
No,
about
you
it.
have not. I just know you. I just remember you saying you hit him up. Something about was it about when he had that fight with Tyson?
Yeah, it was when they announced it.
When they announced
it, I had messaged him.
and you're like, oh yeah, he's responding like a girl who's not interested.
Yeah, he does. He like, and because I had like 5 different texts where like throughout our relationship of knowing him, I would text him something like hey champ, like
hey,
congratulations,
hey, man.
and he would just say stuff like thanks. And I would send these like long, really like thought out, like, hey.
That's like, it's just K.
Yeah, exactly.
K.
That's what it was like. So I was like, yeah, he just responds to me like a girl who's not interested. But he's like, but there's a lot to this story to unpack. I will make it as brief as possible, but I also need your opinion. And also the listeners' opinions. Listeners. All right, so here's the story, okay?
Listenation.
So I have a friend that I met through the gym, okay? And
his name's you have a friend you met named Jim? Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But this good friend of mine, her name
That's so dumb.
I won't use any names, but this good friend of mine, not that she would care, but she is extremely fit. Like wins contests, like just an immaculate physique. That's cool. And so she was.
Can we call her Petunia?
Yes, Petunia. And what's funny is I'm sure she wouldn't even care if I said her name, but I just
let's call her Petunia.
Just, without her permission anyway. But so Petunia, we'll just say. She goes to Vegas for like an event they have, a bodybuilding event. And while she's there, this is the story she ends up telling me, is she sees somebody signing autographs and doesn't know who it is. And then she goes like across the street from the events complex area to get like coffee. Yeah. And the person who was signing autographs shows up there and is in line. So she just kind of mentions like, oh, you must be somebody important. And he's like, oh, like you don't know who I am. And lo and behold, it is Roy Jones Jr.
Wow.
For anybody who doesn't know, Roy Jones Jr. is a Hall of Fame like champion,
immaculate boxer,
amazing, like one of the greatest boxers.
Amazing.
And he also has a music career.
Yes,
hasn't been active in probably like close to 15, 20 years.
I remember him having music out during the crunk era. Like,
okay.
I want to say he had some stuff with Lil Jon. I remember hearing.
Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, so he has a music career. Well, anyway, so they start talking, and long story short, he ends up hiring her as like a dietitian, like from what I recall from the story. Basically, but they have a they end up getting a business relationship in the sense of he's getting ready to train for a fight, and it's not the Tyson fight, but it was his retirement fight from like actual like sanctioned boxing. It was his final fight. So she is going to help him train him, or not train, but like, whatever. Well, through them like interacting, they start getting to know each other, and he mentions his music, and she just mentions to him that she's like, oh yeah, one of my friends up in Wyoming raps, which piqued his interest enough that he was like, a Wyoming rapper. What? So she showed him some of my music, and then he ended up responding like well to it. So that's when she gets a hold of me. And mind you, I'm just like chilling one day, and she randomly, she's a pretty good friend of mine, but we're not like a talk everyday basis. So when she got a hold of me, she was like, hey, call me when you can. I was like, this is strange. So I call her, and that's when she's like, hey, do you know who Roy Jones is? And I was like, yeah. And she tells me the story she told me. And she's like, yeah, I showed him some of your music. He's intrigued and stuff like that. And she goes, and he thinks he wants to work with you. And like the whole time, like not to be a dick, I've heard this so many times that I just, because I've had so many people throughout like being a musician, and I'm sure other musicians who've been doing it for a long time can relate, people who like gas you up with stuff that you're just yeah. So she was telling me like, yeah, he wants to work with you, and Roy Jones wants to send you a song. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, so I'm going to send you his number, text him your name and your information, and then he's going to get in contact with you whenever. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get off the phone, and sure enough, she sends me contact info for him. I actually ended up reaching out to him, and he called me, and we spoke on the phone. And it was even one of those moments. I was with my boy Crook.
Shout out to Crook.
Yeah, shout out to Crook. It was one of those moments where I was like, even hearing his voice, I'm like, is this really Roy Jones? Like I didn't know how to like what to think of it. But then he told me that he was going to, I think it was Russia or something. But he was like, yeah, I'm going to be gone for like the weekend. But when I get back, I'm going to be sending you a track. And I was like, cool. So so
Russia.
So anyway, flash forward, like a few days go by, and sure enough, he shoots me a text and is like, hey, check your email. I sent you the song. So I'm like, yo, this is like happening. Like Roy Jones Jr., I'm just some little guy in Wyoming. And so I check the email, and right when I go click it, it tells me the title of the song, and it's called Big Bank. and my heart kind of sank because you know me, I'm not like I don't really rap about like. Because you can probably just based off the title, you can probably assume what the song's about.
Yeah,
you know, and I can assure you, his bank account is much larger than mine. So, and I didn't want to like jump on a track and be all fraudulent and like, yo, you know,
I'm so rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
got money.
So I see Big Bank, but I don't want to turn down the opportunity. So I show it to a couple of my friends, and they're all doing stuff. It was funny because they were like, "Oh, bro, I want to hop on it." I'm like, "Yo, like, how would that look?" Hey, man, it doesn't work for me, but my buddy, I got a friend who killed it.
I got a friend you don't know at all. He wants to do it.
Yeah. So anyway, so I listened to it, and I end up writing a verse to it, and I write my verse and I send it over, and I'm being fully honest here, just because I have no shame. So I send my verse over, and he emails me back shortly after sending my verse over, and he says, legit, he asked me, he goes, "Can you try again? You're offbeat." And is like, well, here, listen. So as a rapper who I'm just gonna go ahead and like, talk about like some ego here and some arrogance and confidence that I was like, I'm an elite MC, dude.
Dare
yeah,
you.
basically, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm like, yo, I'm
well, I never.
Yeah, literally, I've been doing this for so long. I've written so many songs. When I write, I am fully aware of like the cut of the beat, like where the syllables kick in the snare, and I mean,
when was this, man?
This was 2 years ago. So this all started. Okay,
I was gonna say
it's extending into current days. So
I would agree that at one point in time you were.
Yes,
you did tend to be up, but I
yeah.
wouldn't
So
say
yeah,
2
but
years
no,
ago.
yeah. So no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So because I feel like I've been pretty skilled for the better part of like like the decade at least. Like. So
yeah, you're amazing, man.
Thanks, buddy. But anyway,
don't call me buddy either. That's
thanks,
what I call
pal.
my child.
He's a little guy.
Thanks, Bud. I hate Bud. Oh,
that's my middle name, bro.
Friends,
you had to know that, didn't you?
I don't know. Remembering shit about you.
Anyway, back to the story.
Yeah.
So I send him and he tells me it's offbeat, and I'm like ultra offended, and so I go around and I'm showing it to people and being like, "Yo, am I offbeat?" And everybody's telling me like, "Absolutely not! Like you killed that! Like you slaughtered that verse." Because I sent it like fully confident. Because mind you, I'm thinking I wrote this in the mind state of like, "Yo, like this could be like a foot like in the door," you know? Like so I wrote it like I went off. And everybody was like, "You killed it. Like, that's a really dope verse. I really enjoyed it." So I go, so it just festers in my head. And I'm sitting there for a minute there, like my pride is telling me, don't rewrite the verse. Like, just
my
like,
pride's
I'm not
telling
interested.
me no.
Because mind you, with my verse, I feel like I did a good job balancing the topic of Big Bank, which is like ballin', which I'm not really about that subject matter. So I use like lyrical metaphors. And I'll show you the verse. After the pod.
Lyrical metaphors.
But yeah, just I use metaphors to kind of like, just like do my thing.
Like real ones or like barely metaphors?
Not like hanging a shirt. Not hanging a shirt
like a chattel. I'm surfing like a chattel.
Yeah, so no, pretty legit ones. But then finally, a musical genius friend of mine, Cyrus Sweets, shout out to Sweets Kane.
Shout out to him.
I showed it to him, and he was like, "Yeah, you're not offbeat whatsoever." He goes, "You killed that verse." He goes, "You're off vibe." He goes, "Your vibe is off." And I'm like, "Wait." So I start thinking about it. He's like, "Yeah, think about it." And we go listen to the song, and verse 1 and 2, there's 3 verses. It's one of Roy's artists on like the head.
Body
headbangers, and then it's Roy on the second verse.
Sorry, Roy, that's a terrible name. But anyway, go ahead.
So, and then I come in on third verse. Well, first verse 1 and 2 and the hook is very club like. It's very like and then on my verse I come in and I'm like and I just spaz out on my verse.
Yeah.
So Cyrus is like, "Bro, you're not offbeat whatsoever. You're writing the beat how you write it." He goes, what he probably meant to like kind of like say to you was that you're not offbeat, is that like this doesn't match the vibe. And he was right, because when you listen to the song, it is like a club song, and my verse comes on, and I feel like even if you played it at the club, when my verse comes on, it's like tonally very different.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think you could still fit into something like that without.
I feel the same way. Well, then I ended up writing a second verse where I don't want to call it dumbed down, but I just basically I still stayed true to myself, but also tried to like give them what like kind of the vibe that he was looking for, and I sent it back. Okay, and he's like, dope, thanks. Well, then flash forward, nothing happens, and here's where I start to kind of get like embarrassed because not a lot of people, but like my core group and other artists know about this collab. And then like months go by, a year goes by, and they're like, "Whatever happened to that Roy Jones song?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like I have no idea." So it just doesn't really come to fruition. I randomly text him and just like, "Hey, just checking on that collab," and he's like, "Hey, it's been crazy busy, like but like I'll let you know when it's out." And then another few months go by. Just stuff like that. He had the fight with Tyson, so I hit him up and I'm like, "Hey man, congrats! Like that's huge. Like you're like a
pretty big deal.
And so that at that point, it's kind of taking the opportunity to kind of like again, kind of bring it up and stuff, and same kind of answer like, "Oh, like things are busy." Well, then enough time went by, and I just felt like, and this is the most recent update, and this is very recent. So I just finally was like, man, like I feel like. He doesn't seem like he's going to do anything with the song. It's been sitting on the back burner for 2 years. I don't know how the industry works at that level. I feel like that's a really long time to just sit on a song, and especially today's standards.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought, if he really doesn't have any plans for the song, maybe he'll let me have it and use it. Long shot, right?
Yeah.
So I message him, and I'm like, hey, man, like, what do you think? I pitch it to him. I have an album coming out. Like I'm trying to, whatever. And he tells me, he goes, sounds good to me. Just make sure you credit me and get a hold of my manager. So he gives me his manager's information.
Okay.
So I call his manager, and we end up talking. And I know, mind you, I'm like a dullard when it comes to all this stuff, but I know enough that I like in the conversation didn't sound like a complete Nimrod and like
a Nimrod.
So we talk. Well, basically, he tells me he wants me to send over an email with both versions of the song, the version the first and second version, and then which I prefer, and then how much contribution I made to the song to kind of split up the like residuals, like who gets what.
Okay.
And I was legitimately like, bro, I added a verse, like I'm like 10% of this project, if anything. And I even told him, I was like, if I drop it, like I could care less if I make any revenue off it. I mean, if it blew up, that'd be cool. But like otherwise, like it's just cool to have that on the the resume.
It's a good look, yeah.
So they end up hitting me up, and they tell me to call them again. The guy messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, call me." So I call, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna merge you with another guy." So they merge me, and we end up having like this 2-hour long conversation, and probably one of the craziest musical like in my career, one of the craziest moments. I'm talking to like exec, like big league exec guys, and I'm just sitting here trying to hang in the conversation.
Oh,
but they're being super cool with me, and we're talking about how contractually it's going to work, what the plan is, what my release schedule is, like just all this data and everything. And so we end up getting off the phone, and they kicked me some game and stuff like that. Basically told me everything I was doing release wise was stupid. Like, which they were right in this era. They're like, yeah, man, like in this era, the way you plan on dropping your project right now is just not like with like COVID and this, like it's just not like whatever.
Yeah.
So long story short, just recently they sent me an email with the contract and like all sorts of other stuff and information they need from me, like and just all these other things. And I've been like kind of sitting on it because I have this really bad way like shooting myself in the foot because now I'm like sitting here like I don't know, it sounds weird, but like I don't want to like I would hate to do something and like look back and be like, oh man, I should have like read into that more. Yeah. I if that makes sense. So like, and so I'm sitting here now like really trying to analyze like, okay, like at first I was on the phone like that eager dummy who was like, yeah, whatever you say, buddy. To where now I kind of have to be like, yo, like I do like, like,
hold on
like,
now.
Exactly. Yeah. So now I'm just kind of like, I got this email sitting in my thing right now about like what and I'm not sure what to do with it. Like, yeah, so that's kind of where that Roy Jones thing is. So I have a song with Roy Jones Jr. It exists, and I have the capability of releasing it soon. I just got to figure out how and what to do.
Maybe get somebody who in the field of law to read through it for you.
That's probably a good idea.
And kind of go from there. That's what I was
I think that's what any normal artist would.
Yeah, so maybe you should.
Yeah, because being honest, guys, like anybody, any of our listeners that like obviously are local and know me know that like music is my passion. Ideally, I'd love it to be a career, but music is a hobby of mine because I I own a business. I'm a family man and stuff. So they even hit me up in the email. They're like, yeah, we need your managers and like a number and stuff. I'm like, my wife? You want me to call? You can call my wife because like I've never had a manager. I've squandered a lot of my career with just being like, I can rap good.
I rap well. Business. What is this business mumbo jumbo?
Literally. Like, wait, I gotta do more than rap?
Absolutely. That's crazy, man. I hope it works out for you, bro, and I hope you become super famous and you can bring me along and I can pretend like I like you. No, I hope it works out though, bro. But moving on right along to the next segment. Let me ask you this. Obviously, in a hypothetical situation, would you date a sex worker?
Okay. Let's break it down.
Yes.
Because I think there's levels to it now.
Levels, yes, absolutely.
So it's just funny. I got like a frog in my throat as if like I'm like a sex worker.
Oh, you cut me off. Go on. My life.
So yes and no.
I feel like my answer is similar.
Okay.
Because for me, like you said, there's levels. Like I feel like
give me your scenario that you wouldn't and your scenario that you would.
So I wouldn't date like a hardcore porn star on any level. It wouldn't even be nothing. I don't care if we met and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling her. Everything's right. She's beautiful." He was like, "Yeah, I do hardcore adult film." Oh, I'm sorry. We could be cool, but I mean, I absolutely will not date you. I mean, you out there on the net getting pounded by, and like it's like it's funny because you think about like you have a rough day at work, your lady comes home tired and stuff, and imagine you dating a porn star. She comes home from work all worn out. Oh, it was a terrible day. What's wrong, babe? Oh, well, I had to do a scene with Sledgehammer Jackson, and he came in.
They brought Dalton Hammer in.
Sledgehammer Jackson and
been walking funny ever since.
You know, and then on top of that, it's like I don't know how it works in porn. Like, is it like actual movies where it's like, okay, that scene wasn't really ideal. Let's do 5 more takes. You know, and like by this time she's not even enjoying it anymore. But I absolutely would not even consider dating a hardcore porn star. I put that word hardcore on there for a reason.
I think that's a fair boundary.
But I would say, like, I would date a stripper. I would absolutely date a stripper as long as she's one of them ones who ain't, doing nothing extra on the side to get hey, let me take you in this room back here. That stripper probably wouldn't sound like that. But
the last one I talked to.
Hey, let me take you in this room back here. You wanna have a little more fun? You know what's funny with strippers, bro? They tend to think like, because I'm usually quiet. I'm kind of an introvert. Which is crazy that I'm doing the podcast because I'm an introvert, or maybe I'm an ambivert. I'm somewhat introverted, but extroverted also. Yeah. So balance, yeah. But I think strippers see me and I have like a shy, timid vibe, and they think they're gonna get money out of me. But I'm just like, oh nah, like I absolutely can say no to something I don't want to buy. Absolutely,
I'm great at it.
Like I know for real. Like people will see me and think, oh, that's my prey. And I'm like, oh, nah, I'm good. They're like, oh, hey, so, like even in the mall and stuff, and the lady tried to sell me some lotion. Oh, hey, you want to buy some of this? No, I'm good. Oh, but if you buy it, it'll make your hands up. Nah, I'm cool.
I'm aware what lotion does.
Or even I was at GNC years ago, and I was getting like a thing of Bang or something, Bang Energy, and the lady was like, oh yeah, so you're gonna buy another one, because they're on sale. I was like, no, but
I like when I do that and they continue to try. But it's only an extra $2.
She was shocked, and I was tempted just because she was. Let's just say she was dragging a wagon, but I was like, oh shit. But nah, I was just like nah. But anyway, back to the wrench. So I would date a stripper. I would probably date a girl with an OnlyFans.
How hardcore are we talking on this OnlyFans?
If she just,
because here's the thing, here's the level of the stripper, because a stripper, I think a very like, especially in the right environment, and some that I've met in my life, like as weird as that sounds, like it's not like that much like a.
It's not
all
really.
My stripper friends. No, but like I'm friends with girls who are dancers, and it's on the professional level, it's like an artistic form, you know, and it's very like classy and risque and all that stuff. But then when you break into the OnlyFans subject, like you can have people who have like, you know, like the Throbulator 3000, and they're just like going to town on
stuff
themselves,
like that.
and like
but,
that'd be your woman, and you're like, how many people have seen?
But
that,
I mean,
you know?
OnlyFans isn't 100% sexual stuff, though.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
there's, you know, chicks on there ironing clothes and stuff. So
I don't think OnlyFans was even made for what it was turned into.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I mean, it depends on what she was doing. Even that might be too much, man. Like a cam girl doing stuff by herself.
And here's the thing: if any like sex workers are listening right now, no disrespect.
Yeah, not at
like,
all.
Not at all. Like
I respect their craft. I just, you know, it's.
I kind of equate it to like if like a girl was like saying like, oh, could you date like a UFC fighter? I'm like, oh no, like that would just be too much, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just I would have a hard time with it. Like, and a lot of it just comes down to like even romance like preferences. You know, like even if like you're a jealous person or if you're like whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I'm super jealous, but I mean, I just wouldn't want
I'm not a very jealous
my
person.
girl to be out there just getting smashed for everybody to see. Like I'm not jealous, but it's like, come on, there's a line here. You know what's funny that I was thinking about the whole OnlyFans thing? Imagine like it's not funny actually, because I'm sure it's happening to somebody out there. But imagine getting the OnlyFans and thinking, oh, this is my come up. This is what I'm finna do. And like you don't make no money on, bro. Can you imagine?
I bet that's the more realistic.
Yeah, that
scenario.
probably happens a lot. Like you know how devastating that would be to the ego, bro. you talk yourself into it, and you finally decide to do it. You're like, oh, it's gonna be worth it. You know, I'm gonna catch fire, and like nobody is interested.
So to answer it for me, very similar. Mine's a yes and a no. Same reason on like the hardcore porn level, for a lot of reasons, you know, like I like you said.
I wouldn't date no prostitute either.
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. That's even that. I feel like that's the worst of it.
Yeah, that may be worse.
Even porn has protocols. And
that's
and
true.
Rules and like testing. Like prostitutes, just like whatever. Dude.
I need some money.
Yeah. So same reason. I could definitely date a stripper. That one would probably be the easiest of all. And then OnlyFans, again, I think there'd be different levels to the OnlyFans, like kind of bracket as well.
Yeah.
At the same time, it also kind of falls in line with, is your woman going to be like super public in the sense of like her face and identity and everything?
Yeah, no, that's another thing.
Or is she going to be like is she going to have like an alias and like try to cover her face? And
if it's an alias and she's not showing her face and it's not obvious that it's her, go ahead, you know. Absolutely, that's cool, but you know, like if she's showing her face and like using toys and stuff.
Because that's a good question. Like, okay, let's make a very like hypothetical scenario. If you, for whatever reason, were to make an OnlyFans, would you have an alias? Or if you didn't, how do you promote that? Like on Facebook, like, hey, mom, sorry. Hey, like, grandma, don't check this link out. No. But everybody else, you know.
Hey, everybody except my family, check this out.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's crazy because I know a few girls who actually have OnlyFans, but they don't advertise it on all of their social media. I know one girl, she just like exclusively will advertise on Instagram, and another girl will exclusively do it on Snapchat. I would guess probably because their family and stuff is so prominent on those. Yeah. But
and that's a whole nother layer. Is like then imagine, like imagine. Like find out your sister had OnlyFans.
Oh no! Don't talk. No,
exactly. Wouldn't that be horrible? Like just if somebody had told you, yeah, like that.
Bruh.
only in the sense of like the guy pride thing, because again, I mean, if you're a sex worker, do you? But the guy pride to like that's the ultimate burn for the rest of your life. Of just,
whatever. This is why your sister is on OnlyFans doing anal. This is an NSFW episode.
Yes.
But
we mentioned it like 45 minutes in.
Yeah. But also, like as far as the stripper thing, man, I'm dumb. Like I can't. You weren't supposed to. You're gonna have to agree so fast.
Yep.
But no, like I'm usually pretty oblivious to women hitting on me in general. So like with strippers, it's even harder because it's like, are you just trying to get money out of me?
Yeah,
like,
or are you?
What
actually,
are you? Like,
because I will say, I I've witnessed scenarios where the dancer truly is actually sincerely like interested in like beyond like, okay, this doesn't work. I'm actually,
Yeah.
And
it's like, how do you even ask that too, though? I feel like if it's,
well, see, I feel like
are you just trying to get money out of me?
Well, here's the thing. This is a real thing that happened this weekend. I had a friend invite me out to a guys' night. We ended up at the local strip club.
Okay.
I ended up having a dancer who ended up coming to talk with me for whatever reason. Maybe because she like came through the crowd. Like it was one of those things where we caught eyes and like she like kind of did a smile, wink, and then came and was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And well, anyway, that alluded to like we were there for like 2 hours. She was at my side for like 2 hours and like not trying to make no money. We were talking about her dogs and like and stuff like that. And when it comes to being like a conversationalist, that's where I even told her, I was like, I was very transparent. I told her that I've had friends who've gone to the strip club who have left and been like, bro, she's so into me. No, she's just really good at her job. That's her goal. Like her goal is to make you think that. And I was telling her how like, just so you know, I'm hyper aware of those situations. And on top of that, I was like, this isn't, like, you know me, I'm not a big go out guy. I don't go out to the club a lot.
Me neither, man. I ain't been out in ages.
So with that, like, we ended up having this conversation. But I oddly enough told her that I'm like, but like, if I were to spend money here, the way you're approaching me is how you would get like me to even consider it, opposed to like coming up and like, hey, big boy. Like,
hey, let me throw this vagina on your mustache.
Because she literally came and introduced herself, and then me with my like just quirky like personality and just like charisma, just like talking to everybody and kind of like and whatever, and I was playing pool. Yeah. And so just like the comments I was making, and she just stuck around and was telling me about like her aspirations and like and my goals and stuff. Yeah, it was just,
I might have checked out. I mean, that is the way to go about that. You know what I'll notice, man, is like with me, women, if they have, because apparently I either have a shy vibe or like an intimidating vibe. I don't know, but I'm, me, I'm calm and collected. But like when women try to talk to me, it's either one of two things. Either they don't say nothing, they just kind of stare at me, which is creepy as hell. Because it's like, imagine if I just sat and stared at a girl. Like, just that's happened multiple times, and in some scenarios, I end up dating the girl later on. But
that you've just sat and stared at?
No, she stared at me.
Oh, I was gonna say,
like, no, I don't. I usually don't. I'll look like when she's not looking, but I've had cold stares, women just looking like, what, ma'am? What are you? Or like, there's been scenarios where they give me just like a platonic compliment, and I'm just like, oh, thank you,
Yeah.
But it's like I had one girl say, this is when I was doing the dating app thing. We had matched and we were talking, and she was like, oh, yeah, I tried to talk to you one night, but you didn't seem like you were very interested. And like at first I was thinking, like, what is she talking about? Then I remembered. And it's like, well, all you said to me was, hey, I like your pants. Like, what am I
like, you're supposed to like,
I'm in there.
Okay.
Oh, she wants it. She likes these jeans. But, just weird. I just think it's so bizarre to me.
I've been out of the dating game so long, bro. I truly think in a scenario that I was single, that would probably be a hard thing to decipher.
Yes.
Like, to truly decipher. Like,
and it's like, because women be like, oh, men can't take hints. It's like, you could probably just say something.
Well, and truly, you have guys like us who, like, I'll gas up our egos for a little bit here.
Yeah.
That we're very, like, charismatic and, like, witty and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I feel like you can put me in the room with, like, a pretty, like broad spectrum of people, and I'm going to be able to make conversation, make people laugh, and just tell stories.
Absolutely.
And, like, I'm not going to just leave the room and assume that every female that laughed at one of my jokes, like, wants me.
Exactly, man. That's the thing, too. Like, I don't, I try to never assume.
Now, the likelihood is that it is true. Like, every female who does laugh at my jokes wants me. But I'm not going to assume that.
I try to never assume that. I mean, I get it, I think the thing with women is they don't really like rejection, so they're like, oh, if he don't talk to me, not even interested.
I also think,
but I mean, also dudes don't either. But I mean, I feel like I could just take the L and keep it moving. But some guys really.
I will say, I think times are changing, but I feel like the social norm is still like males are expected to initiate and make the move, and even to the point where. Like, keep the conversation going. You know, like I've heard conversations from girls who have been like, even to the like depths of. Like, is he texting you? Well, yeah, he texts me all the time, but I'll text him like this, and this, and ask him questions, and then he'll just like respond with like, like a sentence.
Yeah, like I see, if I'm having a conversation with a woman, I always try to, even if I'm saying something simple, I try to stretch it out a little bit because I guess that shows interest. But I'm not a fan of one word text ever, unless it's like, "Hey, I'm on my way." Then I might hit you with the okay.
You even yelled at me for I think one word text.
I just don't like it, bro. I mean, sometimes it makes sense. But like if we're conversing, don't hit me with no damn K. A damn K. Just the disrespect. K. I hate it. But yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. Women ladies. One girl told me, "Oh, nice haircut." Oh, another weird thing I wanted to get. I got some stories to tell about this type of subject, bro. Like I got cussed out one time because I wasn't interested in the girl's friend. But yeah, and then also. This was probably one of the most bizarre things I'll never forget. So this girl I vaguely knew from high school had added me on Facebook. This was years ago, but she'd added me on Facebook. I'm like, oh, I ain't seen her in a while, whatever. And then like a week later, I was looking at maybe something I posted that she had liked. I don't know what made me look. I was just looking at the people who liked it or whatever. And it said add friend next to her name. I'm like, oh, that's bizarre. So like another week or two goes by and I'm out at the bar and I see her. She's like, hey, EJ, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking we ain't never spoke in person, but whatever. So I was a little tipsy and social. And I'm like, oh, yeah, so why you delete me off Facebook or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, well, I had added you. And I figured if you accepted my friend request, you would try to talk to me. I was like, what?
What a weird expectation. Like, I added you, now you message me.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh. Like, I was just kind of taken aback. And, like, something happened where I ended up going to get a drink or my homeboy brought us some drinks or something. But something happened that the conversation got cut off. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, well, I'll catch you later, But I still sit and think about that. Like, is that a common thing, or was she just weird as hell?
And like, it's funny me being part of this conversation because like I truly don't know. Same girl 10 years. Before internet dating even. Like I mean, Facebook was like the hot new thing. Like when Felicia and I started dating. Yeah. And obviously we didn't meet through a social media platform.
You met the organic way.
Yeah, we went to high school together. Things like that. And so now I have so many friends tell me their online dating stories, and it's just such a weird world that I've never existed in. That I'm like, it's just strange to. Yeah, I don't even know how I'd network because like cocky ego me would be like, oh, I'd go in there and hang. But then at the same time, if I was like talking to a female online in messages, I'd probably be like, okay, like I'm gonna tell her I liked her outfit last night, but how do I say it with a?
Yeah, it's just really random of a person to think, oh, they accepted the friend request and they want to get with me. Yes. Like I'm just like I'll converse with anybody. I'll accept anybody. If I at least know who you are, I'll accept your friend request. But I'll talk to any woman. Like we can absolutely have a conversation. But
that's
if you take it, but let me finish real quick. If you take it somewhere that I'm not comfortable with or I don't want it to go, I'm gonna let you know. Like, oh no, this ain't that. Yeah. Like we're cool, but I don't.
Another like layer to this is when the same like female hearts like your pictures or likes every post. Is that them just like openly being like, yo, like
hey, I want you.
Like is that how that works in the internet era? Like where it's just like a female, the same one or multiple, whatever, like or for females a male that does it just continuously hearts something. Is that like
I can't even tell you that because there's been women married in relationships who would like constantly like my stuff and I'm like I'm not.
Felicia only did that for like a year, dude. Get over it.
It's fine. I mean, it was a shirtless pic with me in gray sweats.
And the comment is really what brought it in.
What?
Her comment is what really
that's but yeah, that's really. I just think it's really random of somebody to think, oh, you accepted this friend request. Let's do the do. You want me? Talk to me,
please.
Speaking of
I'm
random,
loving your pictures.
Our time. Oh my gosh, man! I don't know what kind of time we got left, but we are not.
Let's find out. Yeah.
This is horrible today.
Yeah, we still got it. No, we're doing great.
We're doing great. Yeah.
We actually are doing good.
Okay, so speaking of random, I was trying to do a little segue. Random fact of the day. Nick, are you into vanilla flavored things?
Actually, it is one of my favorites.
Do you know how vanilla flavored things are enhanced?
Please tell me.
Three,
Wait, is it going to make me not want to eat vanilla anymore?
very likely. 3 words. Beaver bum goo. Beaver bum goo. Beaver bum goo.
Beaver bum goo.
So I got a little article
Beaver bum
that
goo.
briefly touches on it. So
Wait, so if I'm interpreting this correctly, I'm just going to, gleaning from the beaver bum goo tagline, we're actually talking about like secretion from a beaver's
hold
rear?
on. So the article reads, the next time you eat something that flaunts the rich flavor of vanilla, you might want to be aware of or do your best to ignore the fact that castoreum, a goo that beavers excrete to mark their territory, is sometimes used to enhance the flavor of vanilla in food. According to National Geographic, the goo is generally regarded as a safe additive by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. But you'll probably never come across it in real life because it's difficult and expensive to collect. Yeah, castoreum. I hope I said that right. Probably not because I can't read.
Gross.
Yeah, very much so.
I feel like that's something that should be general knowledge.
Beaver bum goo.
Like, I feel like that should be like 100%. Like, hey, just FYI, your vanilla ice cream might have beaver.
It probably says it on the back of stuff.
Yeah, it probably says the name of whatever that is.
Castoreum,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like, I'm gonna read Castoreum and be like, wait a minute.
Investigate the castoreum.
Fancy word aside, I know what you are.
When I hear beaver bum goo, I think of like some like soft serve.
I think I like a gelatin,
Soft
which is gross.
serve diarrhea. Gosh, man, I'm 31 years old. That should not be as funny as it is to me.
Here's the thing about that, though, is we're products of our environment.
Yes.
What makes that any grosser than cow's milk? Like, really, though?
Cow's milk is although disgusting, it's just like
I mean, it doesn't have this, yeah.
It's accepted.
Well, it is, yeah.
Even though it's disgusting, and it's weird, man. It's one of them things. That's another thing. We can talk about cultural norms that are
and I think
gross.
that's kind of what it is, yeah. Because there's cultures that, like, to them, they'd be like, oh, like, they'll pop the eyeball out of, like, something and just eat it raw.
Eat the placenta.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that, just gross. Yeah. I don't, and, we're gluttons, too, in this country.
Oh, yeah, bad.
Very much
That's
gluttons.
A topic we can
like,
jump into.
Bad, man.
You know what else?
I just seen a thing. It's like a quadruple cheeseburger, now $2.99. I'm like, God damn. Like, what?
With my whole diet stuff we've talked about, just to quickly interject there, one of the guys on one of the documentaries talked about how, like, I think it was from Japan, that when they would eat meat, for example, they would have like a little patty and whatever, and it'd be small.
It's like
it wasn't the main course.
Thing.
And he said it was a culture shock when he came to America, and like Wendy's was like triple stack baconators.
Yeah.
And to him it was mind blowing. He goes, "That's enough meat to feed like 3 families."
Yeah.
And you're putting it on one meal. Yeah. You're just gonna throw 3 patties on there with some bacon. Like, yeah.
But I was just in a Reddit thread just reading like some of the things people outside of America think like that's just crazy, and that's one of them. That was a big one, was how much we eat. Like, and just how much terrible food you can get for so cheap and things of that nature.
Want to know another huge thing that Americans have a problem with? I think.
What's that?
Arrogance.
Arrogance, yeah. Arrogance or confidence?
There's a difference.
There is a very big difference. Let's talk about it. I like your segue skills. Americans.
You know what my favorite thing about our segues are?
What's that?
Is we always call them out. So they're good segues, but then we're like, guys,
did you hear what we just did?
We like congratulate our own segues.
Did you know?
I did it.
Hey, we're getting better at this. No, but you know what actually made me want to talk about that is I feel like there is a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Very fine line, and I feel like some people. I see this a lot on social media, especially. Like some people maybe weren't so confident growing up, and now they've got like more of a sense of confidence, but they don't know how to express it. So it comes off like arrogance, but they're still like a little self-conscious at the same time.
Bro, you're describing me as a human being. Just
Yeah,
so
you're
you
a
know.
piece of crap. He's
You're
a
a
piece of
phony.
crap. He's a big fat phony. I haven't done any voices on this episode.
That was
have I?
one. There he was.
I
You
don't
know, you
think
did your
it's,
stripper voice. Your
I
stripper.
don't think I've done it.
Stripper J
I don't
did
know
show
what
up
that.
earlier.
What?
Stripper J. You were a stripper.
Oh yeah, man. Midnight Mandingo was my stripper name.
No, I'm talking about when you did the female version.
Oh, I forgot about that one. But anyway, so one thing that pointed this out to me is this was a while ago, but I'll just see like women especially. I guess probably I don't really pay attention to dudes post that much. I don't know, but no, I'll just see women and it'll be like something like a girl posing and oh, my eyes are so pretty and oh, I'm so like a hashtag so pretty and
Like,
this that and the third.
Rihanna.
Yeah, something like that. And I'm just like, oh, that's pretty arrogant. Like, why are you telling us you're attractive? Like, hey guys, I'm attractive.
Just throwing this out there.
You turned on? But I just always thought that was so strange. Like, I understand, like, you feeling good that day. You know, you're feeling yourself and you want to take pictures. I think that's dope. Like, do that. Like, you put a picture up. Oh, I was feeling pretty today, or oh, love my outfit, or something like that. You know,
A post-up caption like these bitches can't keep up with
exactly,
me.
exactly. And I was like, that's arrogance. But like, if it is, just like, oh, it was I killed it in the gym today, or oh, I'm losing weight and feeling good, stuff
or
like that.
Something as simple as like feeling good. Like
yeah, just having a good day. You like the way your hair looks. I think that's dope. All that's dope. But it just rubbed me the wrong way when you, oh, my eyes are so pretty. Those eyes, though. Oh, she's so pretty, beautiful, model status. Like, relax. Like, oh, these bitches couldn't hold the candle to this. Oh, you just he wants me. I'm soulful. You just eye candy. Yeah. Like, you know, shit like that. And I'm like, relax, man.
What a
like,
real woman looks like.
Yeah, and it's yeah, real women have curves, and you know, I hate that. I don't know why that bugs me because it's. I think I've touched on that before.
The reason I don't like it, I mean, we have touched on it. The reason I don't like that specific one is it like it's a paradox because it's trying to get rid of the whole like, oh, like skinny girls aren't the only thing attractive. Yeah, and your rebuttal to that is like, oh, real men only like the bigger girls. Where it's like, no, you're flipping it now.
Yeah,
like,
now
you're just as guilty.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing. Like, I don't like that at all.
Which is arrogant.
It's pretty damn arrogant. You know what else is arrogant is like, so here's, let me just, a disclaimer. I like a lot of different types of women. I don't think beauty is one, you know,
you cannot, you definitely can't. Like,
I feel like there's I know a black girl, BBW. I say she's BBW. I think she's absolutely beautiful. But I also know a white girl who's like slim, red hair, like 6 foot tall, and she's also beautiful. Yeah. So it's like there's a huge variation. You know what I mean? But no, but I like BBWs. Absolutely, I make no buts about that. I like women with a little meat on them. But one thing I hate is when I see like one of them memes, or even like I've seen, like I watch TikTok cringe compilations. We might have to react to some of those. But I seen one recently, and the girl was like, "Oh, yeah, this dude said he wasn't interested because I'm a big girl." And it's like, "Oh, well, if you ain't got the equipment to handle, you don't like, it's because you ain't got the equipment to handle this big girl." Blah blah blah. This and the third. It's like, yeah, or maybe he's just not attracted to you. Like, relax. Why? So you know what I think that is? I think that's their egos hurt. From
that's
being
huge.
like, well, your penis is small. You don't know that. Like,
hurt pride is a whole another beast. Like,
absolutely.
You know, this is where a good way to view it, and arrogance and pride and all that stuff. Yeah. Conor McGregor's most recent fight.
Yes.
He lost. Okay, lost to a guy that previously had beaten. He's notoriously known for being a very cocky and egotistical man.
Yes.
He lost the fight. If you watch like the post-fight interviews and all that, he's defeated. This is a man who's destroyed. He is depressed, sad, just like you could just see it in his aura. It hurt. It hit him. Dude made millions. I'm talking up in like the millions and millions and millions and millions. And that's where I'm like, man, pride and arrogance are so powerful because that dude made millions of dollars, and he's bummed, like he's sad. It's that's where I think, and I'm personally working on this extremely hard, trying to like put ego in check and like replace confidence with arrogance.
Yeah.
Because once you have ego and it gets hit hard.
Wait, replace confidence with arrogance?
No, flip that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
replace arrogance.
I aspire to be arrogant.
Fuck being confident. Be arrogant about it. No, yeah, flip that. But just because once, which it happened to me with music, is we've talked about that as a musician. This is where I'll put my 2 cents in. I was the guy you described, the nerdy little white kid who didn't, like, we'll put even in the realm of hip hop, didn't fit in, wasn't naturally good. Like my dude Cyrus, just naturally came to him. Like, and I know he works his ass off at it, but day one natural rapper Cyrus was better than like year 5 practicing Nick. Like it was just like, he's just a natural at it. And I didn't have that, so I worked and worked and worked, and even while working, you witnessed a lot of it.
Yes, I
made some pretty like not great music. Like really had to like find my voice and my style and learn how to do it and become a student of the game.
Yes.
Well, then once I started getting that recognition and even my own confidence, hearing my own tracks and being like, "Bro, you're a monster! Like you killed that song."
That was heat.
Then it kind of transferred into this like, you will respect me, other rappers. Like other rappers, like I am I'm that, like on a local level. Like, let's just take like just Wyoming in general. Yeah. I got this chip on my shoulder. Like I'm that dude. Like
I feel like demanding respect is one thing, but I mean, you know.
But the way I did it, bro, I wish I had some queued up right now. I should have thought about it, but I have my random Facebook memories, and I would just post some of the most embarrassing, cringe-worthy
That is
stuff.
what I call a treasure trove of cringe.
Yes.
Facebook memories are humbling real quick.
So low scale, I started being the guy I wanted to be. That like cocky, like very confident in my appearance, my style, my swagger, my delivery, my music, and just admittedly, it's almost one of those things like you speak something into existence. I started saying it and like had people just kind of jump on with it. It was like, yeah, that dude's the wild king when it comes to rap, like really ignorantly. And the irony of it is, so you put on that small scale, and then I go like to do a show somewhere in Colorado, and I meet some Colorado artist that makes me look like a chump. And like not even in the sense of rapping wise, but just like clout wise. Like even if we're skilled in the same level, to where he's like, oh, like yeah, like I tour nationwide and I have like 200,000 followers on my whatever, and that's where it's like that's where that humbling comes in, and it hurts, bro. To where
there's a balance, man,
and that's where confidence, I think, is confidence to me is the balance of like pride and ego, and like because confidence is still going out there, killing it, being good, being dope, having swagger,
knowing you're gonna do this and be good at it,
but also the balance of like you're gonna lose confidently too. Like I'm gonna win with confidence, but I'm also gonna lose with confidence.
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah, and like just feeling like you're great at your craft, but not anybody's beneath you.
Exactly.
Or, anything.
Which
like
was
that.
a big problem because again, for a while there, being the nerdy kid, I was out here screaming how good I was.
Hey, I'm good at this.
With the real insecurities in the back of my mind being the opposite.
You guys know I'm good at.
Yeah, literally.
Did y'all know?
Literally, and that's the thing. Literally.
Hey, the name's Nick Fletcher. I'm good at rapping.
Bro, here's a perfect example. This is a real thing that happened. This just happened. I'm glad this is the perfect time to bring it up. So, I a while ago had made this post. I think I made a mention to you or on the cast before, but there's a little bit of a story to it. But I made this post. And it was a thing where I had listed all my projects I'd done currently and like the year they came out, which is every year. I do a project a year, sometimes multiple. And I listed all my projects. And at the very end of my post, I said, so when they ask you why I'm a legend, you can tell them or something. It was something like stomach turning cringeworthy. Well, some random girl that I hardly know, some local chick, I won't say her name or put her on blast, but I mean, it is a shitty thing that she did. She screenshot it, went and posted it on Reddit under a subreddit called Delusional Artists. And it picked up steam. Yeah, people were, so I didn't know about this. A friend of mine, Gentry, shout out G Fox, sent it to me and was even like, hey, bro, like, I hate to be the one to show you this if you haven't seen it, but he posted the link and I went to it and it was the Reddit thread.
So she screenshotted the original post?
The original post, because I posted on Facebook, she screenshot the Facebook post and then shared it and said, like, and was like, this is a local rapper in my town and he's delusional.
You'll have to tell me who she is.
In her defense, not wrong, I guess, but like, what a shitty thing to do to a
Yeah,
stranger.
I mean, yeah,
like I get that what
weird.
I said was
like,
cringeworthy.
especially if you're friends. Like,
yeah. And well, here's the thing: she's like good friends with a good friend of mine who like is connected to me with music and stuff. So it's just,
that is kind of shitty if you know.
But yeah, so that happened. But once I saw it, because mind you, I didn't find out about the thread post until like years later. Like he showed me, he was like, I don't know if yeah. So it was like 2 years after it had been posted.
Dang.
She posted it like day of. It was like it was recently.
That's crazy that just strangers just clowning you.
Yeah, so it was, and it had thousands of comments, all sorts of shit. So I went and looked, and like people were just clowning me, and like just in.
But
like,
the weird thing is like those people wouldn't know if your music was good.
That was the thing. So the silver lining is my name was in it, and like album titles.
Yeah.
So people were commenting and were actually being like, "This guy's actually pretty dope." Like people were commenting, but then other people, just to be that malicious internet stuff, they were like kind of just making a parody of it.
Yeah, there's some people that's going to be negative.
Like I did a mixtape collection called Treasy Loves You. And there's like 3 volumes of Treasy Loves You, and like one comment that I actually laughed at, I chuckled, that a guy was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Treasy Loves You Volume 3 got me through like college or something. Just something stupid. Just like something obvious, like outlandish. But it does hit the ego, and that's when I realized that it was at first I wanted to be really angry at her, but then it also kind of backlashed on me that I'm like, well, bro, like you're out here saying this really
humble
fraudulent
pie
shit.
That's the thing, man. You put some.
Hey. Royce the 5'9" posted a quote one day. Stuck with me to this day. One of my favorite quotes about being humble.
What's that?
He said, "There's 2 types of people in this world. There's people who are humble and people who are about to be."
Oh,
that's deep.
Yeah,
and it hit me because now
that's the thing too, man. You put anything out there on the internet, you got to be ready because you're opening yourself up to commentary.
That was exactly because my initial reaction to her was I wanted to message her and be like, "F you" and blah blah blah. I've never even spoke to her about it. I know who it is. I know that she did it and stuff.
Have you been around her since then?
No, I don't. No, but I don't think she lives here. The irony is, from what I know about her, is she's like a social justice warrior. She's like one of those people who's like, which is fine, but I'm like the irony of
that's like, that's why I said
the irony is like you're gonna be a social justice warrior and then exactly, and then go
but make fun of that guy.
Exactly,
make fun of this guy for thinking he's good at music.
Makes no sense. And I have so many cringeworthy posts. The local scene here, a lot of people I work with know but that's the thing is that Royce quote happened to me. Yeah. I was very cocky. I had some stuff that happened in life that really made me like put things in perspective. And in my music, I still flex all the time. You'll hear me on tracks be like I'm a goat and I'm great, whatever. Yeah. But you're not gonna catch me.
You do kind of look like a goat.
That was the terrible goat noise. There we go.
I was gonna say, you talk about your cringe-worthy posts. The only ones I cringe at are selfies.
Of mine or yours?
Yours. Why would I cringe at my own? I'm handsome. I'm just kidding. No, but I agree, man. I'm sorry. You were actually being all deep, and I always tend to just come in with some bullshit. I can't help it, man.
I feel like it's the perfect dynamic.
It is,
right when people are probably like, "Shut up, Nick," you're like,
giggles, goofy,
everybody,
goof troop. Before we shut this thing down, I do want to give a quick birthday shout out to the one and only Ja Rule. Today is his birthday.
Oh, today's Ja's
birthday.
Birthday.
Shout out to Ja, man. You're a legend, bro. I still listen to quite a bit of his music, and people troll him so much, man. But I'll never forget the stuff that man has done in hip hop, and he's a very talented rapper.
I agree.
So happy birthday to him.
We've talked about it in the cast before, but shout out to Ja, somebody whose career was undercut over some stupid beef.
Absolutely,
but that dude is.
And it's weird because the narrative with that whole thing has changed over the years. People are like, I see people in the comments on the retro page I follow, and they're like, oh yeah, because they were like, this page had done like a homage, I guess, to paying homage to Murder Inc., just showing some of their big records. Mm-hmm. And somebody would comment like, oh yeah, Murder Inc. had the early 2000s on lock, blah blah blah, which is true. Mm-hmm. Somebody got in the comments responding to that one, was like, oh well, they were on fire until Get Rich or Die Trying. That album ended them, which is not at all true. Yeah. Like if you go back and look, Murder Inc. still had several platinum hits after that album, but I think it was kind of like a perfect storm of that and them getting in trouble with the law and all this other stuff happening. kind of caused their demise. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying 50 Cent didn't contribute to that. But it's people saying that like people are saying that like Get Rich or Die Trying came out and Murder Inc. was done.
No,
like,
Aftermath definitely came in there and
I mean, yeah, that whole camp definitely, contributed to their demise, but it's just simply not true that they were just done after that Get Rich or Die Trying came out. But yeah, anyway, forget all that. Shout out to Ja, man.
There's a chance he might be listening right now. So if he has come on the show, we'll interview you. We'll talk about all of it.
I would love to have a conversation with him, man. He's got some great stories. I know that. Especially being around like Def Jam at their height when X and Jay-Z and Redman, Method Man, all them dudes were on tour together. He's got some stories. But yeah, shout out to him. Happy birthday, Ja.
All right, everybody. So that will conclude this episode of the Young Old Heads podcast. I am Nicholas Fletcher.
I am Jaquan Davis.
This is a hip-hop centric podcast where we talk about a little bit of God damn it, Jay, every time.
You would think by now you would have
I should write
some sort of. Just write your own version and say it a bunch of times.
This is the Young Old Head podcast, and this is where we talk about everything in the whole wide world. We are all knowing and foresightful.
We do commentary on a lot of different things. I was wondering,
are these like characters you were making up, or are these like references?
Bruh, I have a lot of time to myself. Like even at work, like I'll just be doing something and try a new voice. A voice I like to do a lot is this one right here. It's actually based on a guy I used to work with.
No, you did not work with
I promise you.
Like a mobster?
And he was the weirdest guy. No, nothing like that. It's just a weird guy. It's actually not a mobster at all, huh?
Bye, everybody.
Peace.